Now turn up.
Welcome back. Today we're going to fit a Google Nest Stat. So just take it out of the box and show you what we're going to get. So in the box, first thing we've got, that's the stat that's going to go on the wall downstairs, and we're going to wire that up so it charges. So we've got that cover, so we're going to wire that so that charges from this unit here. So you don't need to have that plugged into one of those silly little expensive bases they charge about 35 quid for, and then you obviously need the charger for it as well. So that comes out, that's the brains of it all, and then that bit there is the base of the stat that is going to go on the wall downstairs. Right, first of all, I'm going to explain the wiring centre to you. To the first two terminals here, which I'll bring you in, this is live and neutral, and these are just off our permanent supply, which will be coming off the wiring centre. Then we got 1, 2, 3 here, which is just here. We've got 1 is going to be satisfied, which is normally closed, which we're not going to use. We're going to use the 2, which is a common, and then we're going to use 3, which is going to be the call for heat, which is going to send a signal to the valve. Then we've got 4, 5 and 6. Number 4 we won't be using again because that's normally closed. 5 will be the common, and 6 will be the call for heat. OT1 and OT2 we will not be using because that's a 48 volt supply. And then the next terminal across we've got the earth, and then next to that we've got T1 and T2, which we're going to use those supplies to power the stat, which is going to be downstairs. Right, just to show you, just getting ready to put the base on, and you see I'll put the common links in, so I'm going to screw it back now. Right, so now we've got that mounted on the wall, what we're going to do is we're going to bring the live and neutral up first, then the cables for the stat and the cylinder stat. Right, so wiring up, we've just taken the cylinder stat off while we're here just to check the connections, make sure the cylinder stat is fully operational. So at one point this has actually been a 3-port system, and they've still left the satisfied cabling. So we're going to leave that in as it is. We're not going to connect it. So we're going to use the red is going to be the common. So it's going to come in from position 6 off of our wiring centre into the common. It's going to go down there, and then when this calls, it's going to send the power back on the cable, which is this black cable, which is going to come back and go onto our hot water valve. And the hot water valve is then going to turn the pump and the boiler on. So yeah, we'll get that bit connected up and then we'll bring you back. Right, back in the cupboard, and we've started connecting the wires up. So we've got the live and neutral in, the earth's ready to go into here, and then we've used another 1 mil to an earth. We've got the blue is going to go down and do the hot water side in the wiring centre. We'll show you that in a minute. And we're going to do the brown is going to go off to do the heating valve. That wires straight onto the heating valve and doesn't go through the stat, because obviously the stat is going to be fed off of T1 and T2. And then what we're going to do from the wiring centre, we're going to use the cabling that goes downstairs. We're going to change that and extend the wiring up to here to do T1 and T2. So this will be supplying the power for the stat downstairs, so it's permanently charged on the wall. So I'll bring in a bit closer, or I'll post a couple of photos of that. Right, so we've now got the connections in on the wiring centre. So starting from left to right, so we've got the neutral, the live. We've got the common, which we've linked from live to 2 to 5. So that just gives us 240 volts power across here. And then we've used the terminal number 3, which is going to be the cool. So on the heating, that links straight to the brown of the valve. So this will be getting a signal from the stat downstairs that will open and close that valve. So the stat, obviously from that stat downstairs. So this blue wire here that we've got on this 1 mil is going to go down to the cylinder stat, which was that red wire, and then with the black wire coming back up, which is going to say call for heat, is going to go to the brown on the cylinder stat. Right, we've got all that wired up, so from left to right we've got neutral and live. So the neutral just stays in there, the live is going to link across to the common, which is number 2, and also the common on number 5, which is obviously the common for the heat and the hot water. So number 2, we're not using terminal number 1 today. So terminal number 2 is the common, and that is going to go, the call for heat is going to come out of terminal 3 and go down to the brown on the heating valve. Right, so here we've got it all wired up. We've got to connect these cables on in a minute. So we're going to use the neutral. This is from left to right. So we're going to use the neutral. Is a blue. The live, it goes into the obviously the live, and then it's going to link across to the common of number 2 and the common of number 5. So number 3 terminal is obviously the heating. So this is going to link straight to the brown of the heating 2-port valve, because obviously this is going to get a signal from the stat downstairs to switch that valve on and off. So this is going to tell the stat whether this is satisfied or not. Terminal number 6 is we've done it as a blue wire, which is going to go down and connect on to the red of the cylinder stat that we showed you earlier, and then the black wire from that cylinder stat, which is the call for heat, is going to come back up and do the brown of the 2-port valve going into the cylinder. Then obviously from there it feeds off, tells the boiler and that to work. So yeah, that's how far we've got. So we're going to put the lid on this, going to put a bit of trunking in, and then we're just going to quickly put these connections into here. Right, we've got all that on now. We've got the trunking in, we've got the wiring sent, everything ready to go. We've got power into these. It's a little bit congested in here to actually bring you in. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw it out, take a picture, so then you can see it and we can talk through it. So yeah, that's the wiring sent done. We're going to go downstairs and do the bit downstairs. Right, the base is on the wall, T1, T2 are connected up. See by the little spirit level it's all straight, so we're going to get the top pot on here, and then we're going to start the programming phase. Right, welcome back. We've got the base on the wall, we're just starting to program in it, so that's I'm pretty much it, but I'll show you how the stat works in a minute. I've got the stat on the wall, it's powered up, obviously it's getting its power from upstairs. We've just turned the hot water on, but it's as easy as that. So we can turn it on and off from here, we can stop the boost, so we can turn the hot water off. So it's gone to off, but the people want it on, so they can actually have a bath with no heating for the last 2 days. So if we want to turn the heating on, just scroll up like that, and then it'll show that it's bringing the heating on. There we are, it goes orange, so we can turn it back off. So that's obviously being controlled by the valve upstairs. And if we go into here, that's the heat mode, eco mode, which you can set up to however you want it. Hot water, you've got the schedule, you've got your history, and you've got all your settings with all your options on. So you can change minimum temperatures, hot water schedule, night senses. We can change the display, so we want the current temperature. We've got a digital clock, we've got the weather, you've got the wake up approach. Everything says load you can do on these things, and I would say you need to set up the Nest app on your phone, which is quite easy. So you can quite easily change that from centigrade to Fahrenheit. We're going to leave it on centigrade. You've got the date and the time, language, Nest app to control, and everything like that. So we have to hope that video helped you, just explain how these things are wired up and how they work. If you liked it, please like, share and subscribe, and catch us again on the next video.